morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today on Connor's Ventures 9484. We were supposed to wrap up South Carolina last week, but I don't know what happened. It was some type of family arrangement or something. That's a good wide shot of the studio. You got the monitor over there, the one that we're using now for apparently graphics or such. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and go previously on Buy Low Everything. So we've covered through North Carolina stores. South Carolina was just way too many, and we had to stop at one point. So this was not what I had in mind, but honestly, in the end, it will still work out for me. Might work out for y'all as well. So I just want to let you know that, whoa, something must have happened here. Evidently, we were here for the South Carolina locations of part 2 or anything else like that. Totally not my fault. But if I had to say something about it, I already have a monitor on that as well as on the YouTube. And I'll also be able to check what's going on in chat too. So, and StreamYard says that it's back on Mars. I gotta find that setting real soon. Probably not, but we'll just have to see. We covered South Carolina, most of them, or half of them this far, include the one in Greer, the one in Easley, which I already know of that closed, and even showed you a few YouTube videos from my channel. Shouldn't be copyright free. And going all the way to the end right here, I was in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. The Buy Low store closed. It looked like a 2018 closing or 2019 closing, but that never happened. What I am saying is that this location closed as part of the Buy Low's exit plan or strategies. Went through, and that store was never sold to any Food Lion, KJ's, or anything else like that. So that's probably what happened was in the end, because it did not absolutely have that sale place then. And that was permanently closed, unfortunately, once again, due to a closing. Not sure if it was a 2019 or 2021 closing, almost a 2025. Buy Lows I know didn't exist. There. Let me look at the address of where I did it last. I think it's within the last 70 seconds. This is, yeah. Okay. So we were still in Myrtle Beach in locations fandom. So there was absolutely nothing wrong to pinpoint on that. We're actually going to take a quick moment of silence or pause because we had someone, vice president, that was from 2001 to 2009, sadly lost his life. I mean, he was inspiring in the end at first, but you pretty much get the point since supplies were at half staff today, all in all cost there. So that's something I didn't like at first, but our entire studio will continue to remember his legacy as flags will be down. I'm going to guess about a month. Now let me see if I can try to find the video back wall of Mars, the background of Mars. Where did that thing go? Where? Okay, so here's the ordeal. I can't find Mars in particularly because they did say that they had Mars inside of the actual thing by its own self, back behind the wall. And my question is this: why? I wanted the Mars background, but the bad thing, oh, I forgot to add the packs for that. Yeah, that's probably what I did wrong. Let me go ahead and check for visual graphics or anything. There's our studio right there on camera too, and you saw some ghosts, goblins, and more, even Day of the Dead or something like that. That's celebrated in Mexico. Trying to look for a video like banner, but unfortunately they don't have one here, except for this one right there, which this is past due at this point. I'm just playing around with these filters now, trying to get attention or something to work with, or I don't know. But let's go ahead and go. Oh, Oh no, so apparently I turned off my microphone. That was kind of a mistake, or my end of the stage or whatever. Totally my mistake, not happening again. But we will go ahead and take our break. It'll be about a minute so I can get everything set up. Like I said, I was in a hurry doing this. Stick with us because we will have all the action coming up next. Don't go away. Okay, so we got everything set up. Welcome back, everybody. Here's our studio view in case you're wondering. Oh, that thing says 46 days till Christmas begins. And I can't honestly wait for that to happen because I got to do a lot of things, probably get my sister something. But also, if you don't know, Sebastian's YouTube channel, Foxrish or something like that, his birthday is less than a month. So I have to really get planning on what he's going to need as far for his birthday celebration. So that's something to work with that I could potentially find out at first, but we'll have to see how it goes. All right, let's go ahead and jump to our content right now. Sorry about our long wait. We're going to go ahead and actually share a tab where it's like Google Maps right here. We pretty much know the deal already. So the last time we were there, we ended off at 1241 38th Avenue North, which was a Bilo at the Beach location. So the next one we're looking at is in Newberry. It is located at 1937 Wilson Road. Go ahead and put that in there. And we're about an hour away, maybe two, from Newberry, but we'll just have to, get to the basics of it. So it's 2024. This was the former Bilo that was converted into a Big Lots that apparently was, I don't see any cars parking lot, was shut down in 2024. I'm going to have to dig deeper into the bottom of this because I don't see anything. It kind of looks like an old Toys R Us, but that was an old Bilo, in case you are wondering. I could have closed it last year. I mean, I've had records like that shown over here. But this green thing, this Bilo was originally a Bilo, then it was converted to a Harvey's supermarket. Great prices, great service. That's a promise. This Bilo had to have closed in 2017 in January, and it still rocked out the old early 2000s look. And this one I don't see a cow, unfortunately, but as of now in 2025, the Big Lots still sits abandoned. The whole building is practically abandoned still. Not sure we'll be moving in to this massive shopping center. Also, Harbor Freight, I've heard, has really good tools into that thing here. Our next location, we're going to this one right here. You're probably not familiar with the South Carolina town. I'm not either. But it's in New Ellington, South Carolina. It's at 603 Main Street. It was a former Bilo and was converted to a KJ's IGA Market. That thing lasted longer than the one we had here in Easley that was shut down automatically within the first year. But here's the hometown Bilo locations a lot of people are familiar with. So this closed in 2020 to be converted to a KJ's, and as of now, it still is staying strong. But what's crazy enough is there was also a Rite Aid over here that closed in 2019 due to it leaving the Carolinas and all that kind of stuff. And you had all those businesses there too. And this was a former Reed's, by the way. Pretty much know what Reed's are. Probably a subsidiary of the Food Line Corporation, if I have to say. But they were all discontinued in 2012 or 2013, converting to Bilo stores. All right, let's go ahead and go to our next location. Sorry if it's taking a little bit. I'm trying to keep up with it. Like I said, I have a hurt arm, but not really hurt. Uh, 111 Elgewood Drive, that was a former Bilo. According to the entire thing itself, probably down there. But look at the architecture of this roses. That was a former Walmart. A former Walmart. How is that even possible? And then that's closed. So we have to go all the way down to here. And that's your Bilo you're looking at, which is now OTB, Bargain Outlet. Converted that from a former Savings Without Sacrifice Bilo or whatever. What's that? Oh, I'm probably confused. All right. This store most likely closed in 2018, 2019. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the Bilo images real quick. I think this was the 2019 closure due to the... Yes, it is. April 27th, 2019 closed. Okay. So we now know that that sign was on the window at the time Bilo left. So it closed in April 2019. Pretty crazy. North Charleston had at least, let me see. North Charleston had at least 3 Bilo stores. I've already seen one abandoned in Charleston, by the way. Pretty good town if you'd like to go out and go to the Isle of Palms. I tell you what, it was a beautiful place. But you could tell the architecture right here was a former Bilo grocery store. Going to 2015. It looks like it was from the 80s on the inside, but couldn't make it out quietly or such short notice on this thing right here. But you also got the common green Bilo things that changed to the green or whatever. Got a good view inside the store at least, but not much to talk right here. So this is February 2021. Bilo obviously closed down. It had to have closed before that too. If I had to guess, closed way before that. Part of it is now in Advanced Auto Parts, by the way. And there's a Checkers in North Charleston. Oh man, that's crazy. I've never heard of them before. Okay, so this was impacted with that kind of surprise there. Kind of like, whoa, wowzers. Did you find something interesting like that? I think you did. I really think you did. Yeah, you did. So let's go all the way back to 2018 in December. The store obviously closed itself. It had to have been either 2017 or 2018. I think it's 2018 when this closed, based on my guess. And yeah, had to have been a 2018 closure. Anyways, for some reason, the Pizza Hut that was right there also closed eventually. Sits vacant now. I don't know if it moved or anything. This is one of the former Pizza Huts, probably in a bad location, despite the Bilo building being abandoned and all that kind of stuff. So that's the one we looked at, the first one there. The second one is on 13. Second one we're following. Let's go ahead and put that back onto that thing right there. It's now Abbey Life Foundation in this former Bilo grocery store from 2014. What you can clearly see is the interior of the store going out through those kind of side doors. You had the South Carolina Lottery things that I got on my door that display the jackpots or anything. Speaking of which, I'm old enough, but I don't want to play it. A lot of problems there. Let's see if we can actually get a better view right up here because we've been having a little bit of a bad view. Take a look at this massive label scar. You could tell that it said Bilo on it. And that's what it is now. So let's go ahead and go back to 2021 in March. It was something else. Couldn't make it out then. Sat vacant in 2019. Then 2017. So we have to go back in time. This closed in January. Or this closed, well, no, not in January. It closed in middle to late 2016 because that has our photo from 2017 in January. So the last few months it was actually abandoned. So as of now, it's that foundation. All right, let's go ahead and get to the next one. That's on North Charleston, 8440 Dorchester Road, North Charleston. They say that this bilo was closed in the early to mid, well, in so anyways, we're So, guys, I think I found out what happened earlier in response to having some type of a technical malfunction on this side here. But it's totally fine because I had it fixed or something like that, and it just didn't want to work there for a moment. So, yeah, that makes things a lot more sensible in some different ways. I'm going to fix my camera and mirror this on my side. So let me try to do this. Don't mirror my camera right there. Okay. Well, anyways, welcome to YouTube. We are still here on the Band Over the Years, covering Bilo. Lovely studio setup, like right there. See the entire studio in my end, where it's a bedroom kind of on one side and the studio on the other. So yeah, we're still a little bit of a mess, of course. I do apologize. But anyways, let's go ahead and get back into the action right now. So this one is Playground Drive. This was the former Bilo up here. Closed in the mid 2000s, probably like 2005, 2006. They don't understand why this had to have closed though. Then it became ICUR, I don't know how to say it properly, which it still is to this very day at the moment. Right, what other locations we got? We got to continue rolling on. North Myrtle Beach had two locations. The first one at 3924 US 17 South. Let's go ahead and put that up on there, please. That's the one we're taking a look at next. It's in North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Hold on, something is happening. Apparently, I tried doing the copying motion. And now we're up to this part right here where we're like, what is going on? Okay, yeah, I can still hear myself clearly through the monitor. Anyways, as of now, it's still on iCure. I don't know why they would name it something like this, but it's probably just a guess. And the final location for them in North Myrtle Beach was 720 North Main Street. Let's go ahead and put that up there on the board, please. That's going up on the board. Apparently, something keeps happening right here where I just do the Control C and then I do the Control V. There we go. If we can get it to work now. This is our last location in North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. It was a Bilo at the beach. This location closed obviously in middle April of 2019, along with the one that is local near my area, which I'll get to a bit later on. There's also a Bilo at the beach, but honestly, in shocking consequences or something like that, within May, a store closing sign was yet still up after the entire business shut their doors down, took their signage off, and said Bilo at the beach is no more here. But this store closing sign screams that it closed in April of 2019. Now we're going to go back to where I was, and as of now, it's currently a K1 Speed Indoor Kart Racing Center. Maybe within the next time I go down towards Myrtle Beach when it's open, I should probably check that place out first. All right, getting back into the swing of things right now. Orangeburg had two Bilo locations. Let's go ahead and put that up there. The first one was at 365 Riverside Drive. This is the one right here. Oh boy, I put it in wrong. Was it a 1 after that? Oh, yeah. I think I made a mistake trying to get over to that. To make things easier, it's currently now a Roses Express. Let me try doing that. Maybe we can get something out of there. There we go. That's the correct meaning. Because apparently, for some reason, it wouldn't take me to that Bilo location that I wanted. But you can tell this was a former Bilo too, from the 90s aesthetics or something like that. Then you got an Ace Hardware. It kind of looks like it was once a either a quote-unquote Winn-Dixie or a Bilo. So we're going to keep going all the way back in time. And a sporting goods place that moved in was trying to was closed for something. I don't know. Anyways, let's continue on. The cinema was there. Roses was also in this building here. But if you go all the way over here, there was an Ace. Don't know how that Ace lasted. But this was originally a Bilo and closed in early 2000s. Right, our next location, or actually closed in the 90s to relocate. And then the next one is on 1370 Chestnut Street Northeast in Orangeburg. So that's where we're going to go to next. Food Lion to this very day obviously closed in 2021. We converted into a Food Lion. Could also be earlier. This Burger King does not interfere with my shot. Had that savings without sacrifice scheme. August 2019. Got to keep going. Bilo is still open. 2021 closure as I predicted. And it's Food Lion to this very day. But look at the aesthetics of it, though. It's kind of like the one in Traveler's Rest. And that will do it for Orangeburg. The next one is in Pageland. It's located at 501 South Pearl Street. We're going to that one right now. Another thing I hate about this is because it just tries to ruin everything when I try copying that and then pasting it into the entire thing here. Paste. I'm sorry I had to do that, guys. We're having some technical difficulties. Just bear with us. Also became a KJ's IGA market. 100% of the time was a former Bilo that closed. I'm going to go back in time. It looked like it was what I think it is. Maybe. Looks like it's I'm on the wrong road. I didn't know there was like a place called Pageland, South Carolina. So I figured out had to have closed within, I guess, 2020. Got converted to a KJ's, which is surprisingly no longer in business. I think that could be wrong, though. Let me just put that in there. No, it's not. Going to our comment section right now. No one talking into the comment section right now. It's perfectly fine if you don't want to, or perfectly fine if you want to join us. But once again, it's not necessary or required. But if you want to talk to me, it's free. I should be already on the monitor, so if you want to talk to me, it's perfectly fine. And then we're going to go over to our next location now. Let's see if this works better. One Bilo location in Crawley's Island, South Carolina. It was a former Piggly Wiggly. I'm going to go ahead and go over there right now. Put that up on the board. And then you can see some localized restaurants or something like that still into the picture, despite it being small and hollow in this area. I'm most likely going to have to go over here to see if because it was apartment buildings. How am I not used to seeing those things this late in the hour? Let me check what it was originally. It's Food Lion, so I have to input things together to try to find the right one. I think it was talking about this one down here, if I had to guess. If it looks different, I might be wrong. Could be something else here. And then I'm going to go straight all the way down to that tiny intersection and probably take a look right over here. All this is just misleading because I can't find the Food Lion building, but I know how to find Lowe's Foods in the area. Crazy enough. I'm I'm guessing that might be Holmes or might be that Food Lion store once again that I'm probably unfamiliar of. Let us know where it is. So I'm using cheats across this thing to get me to that specific location. And this kind of have a scheme of a buy low, but I'm not entirely sure on that. I have to go to the front of the store, which will be right over here. Yep. Look at that lovely Food Lion. But was this actually a buy low? That's my question. Based on the looks, no, it's actually a regular Food Lion. So I went to the wrong one. Hold on a second, guys. There's Publix right there. And then Food Lion on Priole's Island going down up here. Most likely a former buy low. We'll take Wilbur Boulevard. Sorry about that, y'all. It took a little bit to realize where this one is because I had to play around with the entire Google thing itself, and it got quite annoying on my end. I was like, why are you doing this to me while I'm trying to figure out if this Food Lion was there or so? It was a buy low store. I think it was at this point. I'm going to go right here. And, of course, you have more houses, and I can't find the location. Oh, never mind. I think I just found it. Put it up in front. Yeah, that's a regular Food Lion. Former Piggly Wiggly. Also a buy low that closed in probably 2019, 2018. Convert to a Food Lion. We've had this case done before on this, but some other people are. Yeah. All right. Pelzer only had one buy low location, and then I'll go to the one at Pendleton. It's right over by College, by the way, so you stay tuned for that a little bit. The only buy low location was a super buy low. It was on 330 Levy Street in Pelzer, South Carolina. So we're going to go ahead and move on to this one right here. Got converted into a Food Lion, so I'm guessing closed in 2021 or 2020, if I had to guess. Yeah, it had to have. Okay. Yeah, this was a former super buy low. Super buy low concepts were around that back in the day. Now let's go to the buy low store that is across from my college. 7709 Highway 76. I've walked on Highway 76 before, not making it up to you. It is true. This buy low, ladies and gentlemen, we're having a malfunction. Just stand by. But as I was trying to say, this buy low store was a former one like that. Looked pretty good. Had the savings without sacrifice schemes into it. Didn't see too much of an issue there in regards to that. We take a look at 2016. So it had to have been within late 2020 that store closed and converted to a Food Lion, probably the first few days of 2021. We converted to a Food Lion. There's a lot that could happen there. It was one of the stores that were purchased by Food Lions. Take that into consideration. All right, this one I could tell you with very much experience. The next one, Pickens only had one buy low store that was seen on Street View, but also had a different buy low store. And I'll go ahead and explain that to you right now. So we're going to first take a look at the buy low store on Gentry Memorial Highway, which is now, by the way, Tractor Supply Company as of June 2025. Has a little bit of the half the building still there. You can go inside, I think, but I haven't tried it yet. I might have to check it out later as a convenient circumstance. But this buy low store closed on April 10th, 2019 due to underperforming location, and it said Pickens buy low is closed. So I could have took that when I did the video in 2019 if I wanted, but it doesn't matter. A Family Dollar down here also closed within the 2020s or 2019 areas or something like that. Liquidated, I think, prior to this photo being shot. Now, here's another thing. I'm going to go further down up towards Highway 8 right over here. There was another buy low store in this area that closed in 2009 or so, 2008, since the buy low moved all the way down to the shopping center, which we showed you a few moments ago. Going back to August 2008. You know, that's not the correct way. That's not Gentry Memorial Highway. It's something like this. Yeah. So this buy low closed in the 2008, 2009, something like that. Half of the buy low building sat abandoned in 2012, and the same lot took the other side. The Bilo was fully occupied as the Dream Center moved in 2018, 2019. Dollar Tree still sits there. We go there all the time. And then there's a Save-A-Lot right here. I'm surprised that Save-A-Lot is still even open with their old logo scheme. That's kind of something in regards there. I probably did not know of it first. This one I'm also familiar with, and I'm going to show you too in just a moment. Checking comments right now, not seeing anything out of the ordinary. So let's go ahead and keep going with this Bilo Everything show. So we're going to go ahead and put that right now. I'm clicking the wrong things, not meaning to. But this one, the next one is in Powdersville. I am familiar with this location. I've been inside that location before. I tried going there when it was closing, but didn't make it. Kind of got one closing in. This store closed on April 18th, 2021 because of the entire elimination fate of Bilo, and it was not purchased by anyone at the time. So it was closed in April of 2021. I know, it's a heartbreaker. I remember there's also the drugstore RX, the old Bilo logo. That was there. Quite shocking. Prosperity only had one Bilo store after that, so go ahead and put that onto the data sheet or something like that. It was on North Wheelers Avenue. It was a former Bilo. Looking at this now is currently a Food Lion, as it was transformed in 2021 to a Food Lion store. This is the Bilo location right here. It's kind of a older, smaller form of a savings without sacrifice scheme, but not really. Kind of like a new one, or old one rather. And then over here, I'm pretty sure that said Family Dollar. I don't know. I'll have to go back and check right now. This is not too far from the proper road in Prosperity, South Carolina. So let's go ahead and fix that right now. So this Bilo in 2016, moving to 2018, this Bilo stays open, strong, and all that kind of stuff. Let's go back to 2013, figure out what this was. Yeah, it was a Family Dollar. And it closed in early 2014, late 2013. Was also a former Piggly Wiggly, if you did not know from the architecture. I really totally forgot about that. Sorry, y'all. It's just the way I saw things for a minute. I totally forgot that was a Piggly Wiggly. That closed, became Bilo. That closed, and now it's a Food Lion. Just like that. The flick of a light switch. Okay, what else do we have on the agenda? Rock Hill had at least 4 Bilo stores in the area. So let's go ahead and jump to the first one right here. It's on 2186 Cherry Road, Site 101 in Rock Hill. A former Bilo there. I think they say it's now a Food Lion, as a lot of people would go for it. Or Publix. This Bilo was transformed into a Publix location, despite closing. Or it might be down here somewhere where I might have a greater shot. No, I don't. It's the Publix entry. Okay, Publix entry. Got it. They got this too over the black windows with the Bilo style thing itself. But the question is, was it a Bilo? That we're going to find out in 30 seconds. To answer the question, yes, it was a former Bilo store that closed in 2012, 2013 to be converted into a Publix. Like, I didn't even know there were closures like that to begin with. Like, if it's going to cause some type of a confusion or not. If you think that it kind of is too, probably just might understand what's going on here. This was a former buy low, and it closed in 2012, 2013, somewhere like that, to be converted to a Publix grocery store, new in the market, in the old buy low. It's Publix to this very day, but I got to tell you something about Publix's wings. They're really good, but they only have a special kind like I have. I can't have fried chicken. But I've heard it was so good. It was so good. Delicious. All right. Next location, 1401 East Main Street. Going to go that right now. If we can go ahead and get this thing working. Pictures it up right there. Or punch it up on the board. Was a KJ's IGA Market, also in Rock Hill, unfortunately closing their doors permanently. Trying to figure out if we actually have pictures of the closing. But I'm not going to take a look at a lot of those. I'm just going to try to take a peek at this. Daniel Cerrito, I give you credit for this content that I'm using. It closed probably in like August or September 2023 or something like that. 2024 could have been that. That was when they opened as an old buy low store. Again, Charles, for that photo credit. And then in here, open around Shannon Kerber, being mentioned here on this program. It is true, however. But now we're going to move on and just talk about buy low itself. So we're going to go right here. And then this was a buy low until it was converted in, I'm going to guess, October 2020. Like the one in Easley, October 17th, 2020. That closed. Okay. The second to last location is on 809 Albright Road. Let's go ahead and punch that up on the board real quick in the Rock Hill area. Moving on. This one was a former buy low. Then it became American Freight, but we all know what happened to American Freight Furniture, Mattresses, Appliances. They went bankrupt. They closed in early 2025. So, kind of a shocker, but not really a shocker at the same time. The old buy low logo, I'm going to guess, did it have a cow on it, or was it the old school one? I'm going to go back and find out right now. Actually, we get onto the road. But this was a former buy low right here in 2017. February 2025 still sits vacant to this very day after American Freight had closed their doors. Going back to 2015, nothing there. We can see it still sits vacant. I'm going to go back all the way to 2008. We might have a picture there. And sadly, we do not, because I think that was one of the buy low locations that relocated or something. I probably not have any heard or questions of throughout specifically what this thing is and why it was there for the first reason. So you can come knocking on my door and find out when it closed. It's be hard. In fact, as hard as the last location in Rock Hill, because rocks are really hard, really tough to break. This one is located at 2375 Cherry Road. Former buy low, by the way, became a bingo parlor right here, which you can see closely. I think right here, and then that thing middle had the bolts that said buy low on that building or whatever. But I ain't cheap about that. It looks like it was a summer thing or a bingo camp or whatever. Let's go ahead and take a look at this sign right over here. Adventure Air Sports. Okay. I think it might have been that too. 2017. Not seeing anything. It was a Catawba bingo, then it got converted to this Adventures Air Sports whatever or something like that. Not heard of it in particular, but I thought it was kind of like fun in all some kind of way. Let's go to 2018 now. This buy low sits vacant. I think they were taking down the logos of itself or whatever. What does it say right here, though? It looked like something was going up, and I just don't know it. Coming down. Okay. So this thing sat vacant for years and years and years. Here's the image. The latest image we got, still vacant. So it was early 2000s closure. It could be something like that. Could be a 2008 closure. But not entirely sure on that either. So we're going to go ahead and just assume that it closed in the early, mid to late 2000s, somewhere like that. St. George only had one buy low location. It was on 5982 West Jim Bilton Boulevard. We're going to go to that one now. 5982 West Jim Bilton Boulevard was a former buy low. And you can tell from the aesthetics, it's now a Food Lion, so it's converted from a hometown Bilo into a Food Lion in 2021. Let's go ahead and go to our next location. By the way, it's on I-95, closer to pretty much. All right, St. Matthews only had one Bilo location. Let's go ahead and go there right now. The location of it was at 615 Harry C. Racer Drive. Looking at it more closely, is a former Piggly Wiggly restaurant, grocery store. Sorry, Piggly Wiggly grocery store. Then it got transferred back into a Piggly Wiggly with grand opening things going underway and sales starting off with that thing after Bilo had closed in 2018, signifying what happened next as this Bilo store was converted into a Piggly Wiggly hometown store at this point. All right, the next location is at Saluda, 605 Travis Avenue. Saluda only had one Bilo location, by the way. Let's go ahead and get that going right now. Right here. There it is. Food Lion. Let's go all the way back to 2021. And you can clearly tell that Saluda kind of had like a Bilo store in this area, hometown, that I was probably not aware of. So it closed in 2019. No, it didn't close in 2019. It closed in 2021 to be a Food Lion, hometown Food Lion. They can just keep the hometown part of it. It'll be perfectly fine. Seneca had 3 stores, one of them demolished for Publix. So we'll get to that now in just a few minutes. The first one is it's a Food Lion now. It's at 191 Bilo near Oconee Memorial Hospital in Seneca, South Carolina. This was a former Bilo, by the way. Kept its green schemes after the Bilo store had closed in January 2021. They also held on to the new one. They had the Savings Without Sacrifice scheme, 2013. 2010s were like Savings Without Sacrifice until the very end of it, pretty much. I don't have any older photos, though, but I could try to get some older photos from different parts of the roadway if I have a chance, but I'm probably going to get unlucky for that. So, and if that's the case, that's okay, too, but we all know that this was a Bilo store, and it's wasting our time just talking about how it looked from the early 2000s. Guys, we'll take a short break. We'll be right back in just a few minutes. All right, welcome back, everybody. Going to continue things right now with this Bilo, everything kind of controversy, whatever. This was a Food Lion in Seneca, South Carolina on Rochester Highway 115. That one closed in 2018 due to the bankruptcy filing of Southeastern Grocers. Going to put that right there at Seneca 115 Rochester Highway. So once again, like I said, the Bilo was torn down in response of building a brand new Publix grocery store. Again, the Bilo closed in 2018 as part of the bankruptcy. There's what it looked like after its closure or whatever. For that, you had this kind of style right here. I've wondered, what does it say back here? It's not going to tell us unless we go to 2016. Walter's Produce. So it's a 2007 style Bilo itself, but now we can clearly see that was taken out, and as of now, Food Lion had left, became a pet supply store. Ranchos Del Lago stayed there. Something is wrong with camera 2. All right, we're going to keep going at this point. Like I said, I apologize if this causes some inconveniences. We're going to continue right now. Go back to that. The Family Dollar did shut their doors down. And Alazan, I've never heard of that Mexican grill restaurant or anything. They closed, and now it's officially Ranchos Del Lago. so I cannot say Spanish words like that properly, but I understand what's coming from there about the restaurant. I've had Mexican food before, like the way they did it to like tacos, soft ones that I could have back in Wahala or something like that. It was delicious, actually. Don't know the name of it now, but it was a couple years back in 2022. Anyways, this Bilo store, which we showed earlier, I could tell you what happened. The Staples right here was also a former Bilo, but what happened was Bilo actually moved a couple doors down when their facility actually opened. Now that's a Food Lion, so I do apologize. It was this building right here, which is Staples. That was where the Bilo was originally in the plaza before closing in probably 1998, if I had to guess. Probably 2001. I don't know. Well, anyways, Simpsonville had at least 4 Bilo stores. The first one was at 120 South Carolina Highway 14. Got a closing image from March of 2021 by CL. Thank you for the picture there. We're going to give credit to you right now, this picture, if you want it there. If not, we could just take it out if you don't want it to be shown. This converted to a Food Lion in March of 2021 with the Bilo closing. So we pretty much understood what happened there as it was converted into that. The next one in Simpsonville was at 699 Fairview Road. Was indeed a Food Lion now. Go ahead and put that up there. It's formerly a Bilo. Could have been a super Bilo. Well, now it's officially this. It's a Food Lion branded style Bilo, keeping the savings without sacrifice scheme from its original owner, which was Bilo. We'll go ahead and see if there was like images or two. But then again, this stuff is getting rushed since I don't have a lot of time and all that kind of stuff. Looking at that, 2018 looks beautiful. But the store closing banners came up in 2021 and converted this most likely to a Food Lion store soon after. But what's crazy is that you could see the super Bilo logo through the glass of how it's like mounted. I kind of like this feature. Thanks to CL for this picture of this super Bilo store. The leaf was just a little difficult. It was a dash at one point. And I had this from August 2017 by Zane Virgile, had pretty much of a good atmosphere. Let's just go ahead and go back to our street view looks. Inside, we even have pictures from August of 2019 when the Bilo was something like this, the Savings Without Sacrifice scheme by Wes Watkins. Thank you very, very much for sending this up to us here on YouTube with many different views of the Bilo stores possible. The next one is at 2607 Woodruff Road. It was a former Super Bilo that closed in 2018. No, it was the Simpsonville one. Sorry. I was thinking about the one in Woodruff. Anyways, this closed in 2021. If I had to make the assumption, the black glass that holds the Bilo logo in an architecture painted over green. Had the pharmacy thing label right there at 2018. 2019, they did away with pharmacy, and they continued to be a Bilo until 2021, most likely to be a Food Lion based on the scheme right here. Painted it back to when it was the original state of the Bilo itself. Now a Food Lion scheme. So in the end, they kept the black glass-like things to resemble a Bilo. That's crazy. And the last one in Simpsonville was located at 915 at South Street A, and it was a former Bilo, was turned into a Big Lots, which I think had its second chance. Yes, it did. Big Lots for the win in that area. Officially got a second chance at life. Now by Verity Wholesales, still there. It was closed down for a few months, but then after that it reopens. There's the Bilo logo we were most likely comfortable with. The Bilo logo we were most comfortable with. Rather, I think I got to turn up the volume or something. Guys, we're having some technical difficulties. Just please stand by. Okay, I can hear myself clear through the monitor. It's still going. Man, having to clear my throat there, not fun. Anyways, this image, we couldn't get an image there from that, but this one's February 2019. I kind of wanted to take a look at the actual latest picture of itself. That's 2019 by Joyce Amherst, or something I found out right now. But I don't see any liquidation signs by many of those users on Google Maps. So it's just nothing wrong in the end, but we were like trying to find where stuff was, all that kind of stuff. The store was ever going to close or anything. The store did liquidate and close their doors. After that, because it was purchased by Verity Wholesale Group, with one of the 200 of those locations staying at that point, gave us a great shot that the Big Lots store there would come back to that location under new ownership. You may remember they went bankrupt in 2024, closed all their stores down, the ones that were purchased, about 200 or 400 of them, by Verity Wholesales. Those stores were reopened. The one in Easley, which I thought was going to close for good, reopened. I got so proud of myself. This one's the latest footage we took. It says Big Lots on it with the banner saying, "Now open, the comeback starts now." I like the positive energy that this Big Lots has in mind. Although this Domino's Pizza is having a good time too. Looks like a former Hardee's to me, like a former Hardee's charbroiled burger place, but I could be wrong. And if wrong, I'm not. It looks like it was that. We'll go ahead and get back to I-385. Maybe we'll have some better pictures there right now. This one again from April 2023, taking the exit ramp, going down. I know we had a picture prior, first part of 2015 in March. We did. And the Big Lots still had its closing thing going on. I could barely see that with the buildings going away from each other or something like that. That one was closing. Was about a day or so late after the liquidation sales have ended. The store closing banner I didn't see much of. Perhaps maybe I can get a better close-up of the Big Lots store stays open. Let's go all the way back to 2011. And again, this stayed. Hold on. I got something going on. Let's go back to 2009. This was. I feel like it wasn't like Big Lots before. I got to go back into 2012 to find out, maybe 2009. I know this was like a former Buy Low grocery store in this area. It could have just been their older logo, and I did not have realized that. Plus, this business right here bankrupted out and closed. So, yeah, it makes a lot more sense as to the comeback returning to this location. But I didn't see any store closing signs in the picture of the Plaza Center or something like that. We'll just have to see how it goes. Anyways, our next location here this evening is in Spartanburg. They had a lot of them. 7 Buy Low locations in Spartanburg. So, batter down the hatches. We're getting close to the very end of South Carolina. Here we go. Let's go ahead and start our first one in Spartanburg. This was at 2199. Southport Road was also known as the Cedar Springs Crossing in Spartanburg, South Carolina. Became a bargain hunt, but we all know how that failed in 2025. I'm going to guess this location closed in 2025 in February as a response to the bankruptcy of the bargain hunt store itself. I think we have some closing images in the store taken by a few people. I think there was a bug on me. Okay. I'm just going to disregard that because you pretty much get to see the point. That bargain hunt video made my day, apparently. Looking back at the latest ones, I don't see a store closing sign or anything relating to the liquidation sale, but this was a former Buy Low nevertheless. So we're going to go back to October 2018. Unfortunately, this Buy Low closed on April 18th, 2021. Then it was transferred over to Bargain Hunt, which later closed in February 2025. So February of this past year, pretty much. Only picture I have in this area is from 2024 in January, and I can go all the way back to December 2024. Like I said, I didn't see any store closing signs there. They were going to get ready to start liquidating soon, I had a feeling. Let's go ahead and go to 2018. Well, this was a Buy Low 2021. Did it say? No, 2021. Yeah, 2021. Go over here. Yeah. Tough break for Buy Low. Our next location is at 140 Fernwood Drive. Now it's a Crunch Fitness. I'll go ahead and put that one up here. It was a Spartanburg County location. And we're flying by really quickly because I want to take a break, or want to get done with the South Carolina thing so I can get ready for Tennessee next week. And then I just feel like I wanted to get something to eat, like pizza or something that I had in the oven that I cooked myself. It's already on the table. But I had to start live stream regardless because it's going to hit 6 o'clock before that happens. So this one right here, former Crunch Fitness. I got to find it real quick. Let's go over here. This was a former Bilo. As many of you may know, look at the Crunch Fitness thing over the Bilo scheme. But instead of the glassy black or white windows, it's boarded colored black windows or something like that. No problem, honestly. This Bilo closed in 2018 because of the bankruptcy of Southeastern Grocers. Sadly, we don't have any closing images of this former Bilo prior to the liquidation, but I'm going to just go ahead and put let me just go ahead and do that real quick. Put that up there. I know it's closed. It closed in 2018 along with the bankruptcy here from Southeastern Grocers, the parent company of Frisco Gamas, Arby's, and Bilo at the time, as well as Winn-Dixie. But here's the thing. In 2018, this location started liquidating by a third-party liquidator, had the Gordon's Curve style signs. I've seen it in person with that before. The outside shows 2017, but I'm trying to find the one with 2018 in it that they might have taken, but I probably am not going to have any good luck at that. So it's totally okay, but we're taking a look at some images from Anthony Raynor. Thank you very, very much on letting us do this. Or I'm going to give you credit for this, actually, because I just found out about this. And then as of now, it's a Crunch Fitness. The next location we're talking about is at 100 Northtown Drive. Is another one of those Bilo locations. Let's go ahead and get that thing going. It's converted to a Food Line in 2021. There's a lot. Unsa's Supermarket International, or I cannot say it properly. It closed. A Bilo store there. Looking at the aesthetics, looked okay. Let me go ahead and get this Bilo thing down here. They said it was converted into a Food Line. They are wrong. Oh, I was looking at the other one. Yeah, no. Closed on April 18th, 2021, is now something like a Mexican supermarket or something like that, or Italian, or I don't know how they pronounce it, but pretty much that's probably what it is now, despite it closing earlier than we thought. So it was either an April 18th, 2021 closure, or sometime later on, probably it had to have been 2021 when this thing closed on April 18th. Like, the store closing signs were out. Apparently, we're not going to play this video because most likely have a chance of being copyrighted because of the audio the person has itself, though this is supposed to be a documentary of those locations here as well. So it's pretty much understandable at this point. We can now do genres or types of the live stream through StreamYard, and that's pretty much good for what we do here at ICB Group. So I don't see any closing images, unfortunately. So we're going to go to the next one. This one obviously still vacant this very day. Then it got that. Next one is 601 John B. White Senior Boulevard in Spartanburg. Let's go ahead and put that up there. This also became, or later it was a beauty supply store. I don't know if it was like a makeup or adult kind of store, whatever. I don't know. But it was called Boom Boom Beauty Supply. I have never heard of that before. Honestly, no. Let's go ahead. It says it's a building over here in this dot, kind of like a general care or a general dental care or whatever, or how it's pronounced. Yeah. And that closed. Two of the O's were taken down or fell off and broke or whatever. The beauty supply logos tried staying there. Anyways, we're going to get out of the 2024 and go back to 2021, and it's still closed. There's 2018. So this closed in March along with the other stores that were relating. No, it's not actually closed then. Director just yelled in my ears. It's actually closed way before that. Probably 2007, 2008 it closed or whatever, just to guess, mid-2000s. It's still vacant to this very day after that store picked up and left because they went bankrupt. I'm assuming they closed that one down permanently. Next one, we've seen it all too much in the 2010s. It was at 2401 Reedville Road, or one of those right now. They say it's currently a Food Lion store. For those Spartanburgers or whatever, probably remember this. This was a buy low store, stayed until 2021, and converted to a Food Lion. Nothing else to put on that. It's Food Lion to this very day. Next location in Spartanburg was at 1451 Fernwood Glendale Avenue. So I put that up there. And I'm going to go ahead and say hot spot Fernwood Glendale Road right here. Like, how do you manage to tear down a grocery store and replace it with a gas station like Hotspot or whatever? Home of Hotspot. Okay. But my question is this. How do you manage to do that in the end and understand how that was potential? Okay. Makes sense. Looking at my papers right now, the former Philo itself looked like a Winn-Dixie to me, kind of, but not really. Closed in early 2000s. Then converted to a Hotspot, and then something else connecting over here, which is RL Garden Oil Company, Inc., which I don't know what that thing is, to be honest. Understanding what that, I double-checked anything else. The next location is in Spartanburg, 4089 Clifton, Glendale Road. Going to go further down the road, I guess. This Philo store right here. Well, as of now, it's a storage facility unit. This was a former Philo, if I had to guess. Let's go all the way over here. Yeah, it was, by the looks of it. Probably closed in 2001. Got torn down or part of it redone to make the storage unit, pretty much. The next location is the last one in Spartanburg. It's at 630 Chesney Highway. I've seen that Philo store before going down the areas. Right now, Spartanburg County Department of Social Services building. This was a former Philo grocery store. So my question, how can you fit a County Area Department of Social Services building in a former grocery store? That's my question. How are you able to do that? No one up in the comment section. That's totally all right because we've gotten a lot of work done here so far. Let's go ahead and go back to 2016, if I can guess. Still that abandoned look or whatever. And my mind is just this. My mind just died pretty much thinking about what happened. So this closed in the early 2000s. Well, yeah, it did. And it became something else. I cannot read that. Let me try saying it. It was a Food Mart. Now I'm just going to say Food Mart. And that's it. And then there was a closed down Family Dollar in the area. Family Dollar has been shutting down a lot of those stores now. The one in Liberty that I'm trying to cover, a lot of it there. All right, Somerville had 5 Philo locations. Let's go ahead and go to the first one now at 10150 Dorchester Road. That's a former Philo converted to a Big Lots and was one of the 200 through 400 Big Lots that were spared away from, oh, wow, like to say this, Verity Wholesale Partners. So this closed in 2008, if I had to make a guess. 2008, this Philo had closed. It could have been earlier, 2012, something like that. I most likely am wrong in this, so let me go ahead and go back in time. If I can, find the proper roadway all the way down here. So we'll have to go down that little roadway stretch. Take us all the way back to 2012, 2011. See what we got. It was a former Philo. That was open in 2012. Philo's still there. So it's a 2014 closing. Most likely what happened there. The next Somerville location, yeah, it's 2014 closing. Sorry about that. It also states on the website. The next one is located at 1625 North Main Street in, I guess, Somerville. Like, I've never seen a lot of Somerville Philos itself. Had the Savings Without Sacrifice scheme in 2018, converted to a Food Lion in 2022. which they're likely keeping their actual Food Lion scheme up on that thing. Yeah, whatever. Next one, 975 Bacon Bridges Road. That's the other one here in Somerville. That was a former BILO. Let's go ahead and go to that right now. Also, cosmetic proof or prof or whatever. I don't know what it says. So I'm assuming the BILO was like right here or down there. I'm going to take a look at the shopping center first to be sure if I'm justifying myself correctly or I'm doing it wrong. So we pretty much get the point on where BILO was. And that I made a mistake. Sorry about that. This was a BILO right there. Here's 2007. A good view of the SunTrust there also in the area. Yeah, I was converted to a Food Lion store. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, I've heard Food Lion was pretty good. So it's 2021 closing in the end right there. The next one is at 1452 Boone Hill Road. That's right, 1452 Boone Hill Road. There's another one at 1422 Boone Hill Road as well. So I'm assuming it was a relocation of the BILO store itself with one of them standing next to each other. So this is the first BILO, or it could have been a little bit different like that. Here's April 2015. So this store closed in, I'm going to guess 2019, 2018, somewhere like that. I'm going to go ahead and get out of the parking lot just to show a better reference of when this closed. Going to 2019. So it was a 2018 closure this whole time. I just probably did not realize that. Okay. Because of the bankruptcy. Yeah, okay. Now I probably got a lot of that right there. I'm going to put that right there. And then put BILO right there in the chat. It's going to say it's closed down permanently. The inside of it, yeah, February 2018, they were going to announce closing, liquidating the store, something like that. Got some pictures there, I guess. Let's take a look at all of them. That's the BILOs that they were used to. Outside in January 2018, very cold there. And then they started liquidating. Out of the blue. Started liquidating. Here's a picture. That was from Christine Perkins in January. Here's James Smith in 2017 with this wonderful photo of the BILO thing, the logo lit up. Haven't seen that in a while. And then Maurice Pritchard, thank you very much for that photo that I can share. Any photos relating to that gives me more information to when it closed. So it's a 2018 closing right there. So the other one at 1422 Boone Hill Road relocated next door into the 90s, and then Maxway and then the Furniture and More store took over, now vacant at this time because of what happened there. And Sumter had only one location, the 2055 Wedgefield Road. Let's go ahead and go to that now. Oh, get me out of full screen here for a second. I'm going to paste that in there. Keep in mind, I'm trying to hurry this up so I can go ahead and get something to eat. Let's go back to 2018. This BILO closed in 2021. Most likely got converted to a Food Lion in early 2021, as well as one of the stores purchased by Food Lion. Surfside Beach only had one location. It was at the 1610 US 17 Bypass S at Surfside Beach. Was also classified as a BILO at the beach. So let's go to this one real quick. Put that on there. Oh, I copied it by accident. Sorry about that. I am just trying to learn these things for the first time in a while because I have made a mistake with those things before. Looking at it, it's currently now a Food Lion. So let me go ahead and go to put Food Lion and Surfside Beach. Right here is US 17, but US 18 not meaning to. Sorry about that. This BILO store closed. Down for good. 2021. Taylor's only had one location. It was at 3039 Wade Hampton Boulevard, and it closed down permanently on November 18th or November 14th, 2014. Sat vacant, became a restore building, but they closed that one down, and now officially it's a Miracle Hill Ministries building. Let's take a look at that abandoned picture from 2015. People were already going inside the store to try to clean up what was left for the auction or whatever. Then they closed the doors there. This was liquidated by a third-party liquidator in 2014, kind of like the ones with the Kmart signs or something like that were closing. That's what I have to guess. Travelers Rest only had one BILO location. I already know this because I'm not stupid. I've been through the area before. And that was at 148 Walnut Road, or Walnut Lane. Sorry, 148 Walnut Lane. closed on April 11th, 2021, and was converted to a Food Lion, which gave me kind of a surprise there. I didn't know if they were going to do that or whatever. April 11th, 2021, the BILO closed in. This is what it is this very day. It's like the older style BILO logos that you're supposed to see here. This also carried the Savings Without Sacrifice screen, or screamed the Savings Without Sacrifice scheme, or whatever. Union had at least 2 BILO locations. The first one right here at 320 North Duncan Bypass. Let's go ahead and take a look at that one right quick. Kind of looked like it was a Piggly Wiggly or food store or something like that. Now it's a KJ's Market. Let's go ahead and take a look at our closing images. Had to have closed in 2020 to be converted to that. So that makes a lot of sense. Sorry if I'm going a little bit fast. We're almost done. Last one is at 321 North Duncan Bypass. It's now officially a church. Like, how in the world do you do that? I think it was just across the street. Let's go all the way down to this area right here, maybe, because they say it was already a church when KJ's moved in. Churches have been known to take over in former grocery store location areas. That's the church. That was where the original BILO was, by the way. I'm surprised the church did not cover up that logo where it used to say BILO. But there it is. The sign over there. They didn't move all the way over there until much later. Or, yeah, where Food Lion closed, that's where BILO went. And they've had to relocate this wonderful BILO store into a Food Lion. But guess what? KJ's took over. I thought Food Lion was going to get the location back. Apparently not. KJ's is what's there now as of today. That was in Waldoboro, by the way. Next one, Warrenville only had 1 BILO location. It was at 2587 Jefferson Davis Highway. Let's go to that one right now. Clearly see this is now a Food Lion, or kind of a Food Lion. Yeah, it is. Converted in 2021 to a Food Lion itself. Was an original hometown BILO store. So we kind of showed you that one already to give you a great reference of where things are at. Wellford only had 1 BILO location. It's 311 Spartanburg Highway in Wellford. Let's go ahead and go over there. Put that right there. Make it magical right here. This used to say BILO, by the way. And it was something else before that that did close as well. It was Upstate Mattress Furniture Outlet. Closed. Totally aware of how it went. How bad they suffered. This was an old school BILO location, probably within the Wellford area. Let's go to 2012 to see a better picture of this. But it just says that it's Upstate Furniture Mattress Center or something like that. BILO closed in 2006 at that location in Wellford. Then you got 2 BILOs in West Columbia. So it's west of the state capital of South Carolina. The first one right there, we're going to go to that one right now, was at 2916 Emmanuel Church Road. Going to go to that one right now. Kind of in the KC area, but not really. Mostly West Columbia. Converted to a Food Lion, and this BILO had to have closed in 2019 or 2018 in response to possible bankruptcy or underperforming sales at that store. I think it closed in 2018 with the bankruptcy. That's just a guess. You can clearly see sign says store closing. Visit us at BILO Plus Pharmacy at those locations. All of them listed right here are closed. And it said, thank you for being a loyal member. Okay. Guys, the internet's going to cut out for just a second. Just stand by. I'll be right back. So we are back now. We determined something has happened in response to the BILO itself closing in 2018, 2019. I think it was 2018, 2017, something like that. It was converted to a Food Lion at this time in April 2021. You can see it was a Food Lion. And the last one was at West Columbia, 2349 Augusta Road. It was a KJ's Market IGA, but that has unfortunately shuttered its stores permanently as of 2025. So I apologize for the inconvenience. I've also heard there was about 5 months ago, this location closed for KJ's, as I heard from one of the anchors at News 19 WLTX, announcing the closure of this not Bilo location, but the KJ's location. Signs and everything were taken down. Okay. So I'm probably going to look it up. Yeah. Okay. So I am sorry about that. Yeah, it was not my fault. I was trying to at least dig deeper into it. Yeah. J.R. Barry made the announcement about that closing. So that's what probably caught my attention, because I got television programs coming from the upstate, Western North Carolina, and only 2 television stations in Columbia that we have on our television sets that we use to take a look at this. This was a KJ's that closed earlier. I think it was marked about 5 months ago, maybe, something like that. But he did announce that it closed. The Bilo store closed, however. I'm looking back to the time. I think it was a 2020 closing or whatever, because he had the savings without sacrifice scheme in this Bilo store. Like I said, I don't think KJ's IGA may pull out to the end of that one. Williamston had one location as 18 Beaver Dam Road. Now a Deals Galore. Let's go ahead and go over here. Some Williamston, they only had one Bilo location. Justifiable. Looks vacant to this very day, kind of like some stores up at the front. Vacant to this very day. You can clearly see some of them took half of the building, which were barbecue restaurants and were like that, but most of the building was condensed that way. Part of it was taken up by Deals Galore and more. The other half stayed vacant. I don't know. I was probably guess the other side of the Bilo, I guess, if I had to predict, stayed vacant this whole time. Only determined those 2 locations are there. There's a Hardee's, which I'm in question at this point. Why is it near a Hardee's? I mean, Hardee's food's okay to me, but not really great for a lot of people, as far as I've heard. So, looking at this Bilo location, I could tell you it was already closed in the 2010s before it looked like it or something like that. Get off me, bug. Anyways, here we go. Going all the way back to 2012. Let's go all the way back to 2008. You kind of see that the scheme is just out there. It was 2007, 2008 closure, probably somewhere like that. Yeah, it's 2007 closure, if I had to guess, because of how bad the sales are at that location. Winsboro had 2 Bilo locations. First one was at 1126 Highway 321. Business, Winsboro. We got this one right here, taking a look at this Bilo stores now. Apparently Napa Auto Parts in some areas right here, the plaza, done reading, but the Food Lion took over that former Bilo. In response was also the Savings Without Sacrifice scheme. And we have another location for you this afternoon, or this evening, rather, into the Bilo. Everything we'd like to share with you right now. The next location, the last location was at that same area. That's where it moved a couple inches before. That one closed and moved to the other side of the plaza or whatever. The next one is in Woodruff, South Carolina. The one located at 371 South Main Street. We're going to go to that one right now to get a better understanding at where things are at right now. A vacant parking lot may have closed in 2021 on April 18th. I'm going to go ahead and try to get the footage back now. Not entirely sure how this is going to go. It's just to guess. It was in the Patton Square Shopping Center. Here's the Bilo itself taking another liquidation turn for the worst. Let's go ahead and get this last part going in right here. Bilo carts galore. No liquidation sign, says 2020 closing. At this rate, No, it's 2021, late December, early January closing in 2021 at this buy low store liquidation. The last two are in York. One of them formerly Reed's. 717 East Liberty Street is our next one. We're almost done with South Carolina, folks. Can you believe it? We've tried this hard to get to where we are now with a lot of work. It's currently a Food Lion right now as I speak with the buy low scheme on the Food Lion logo. So this had to have closed within 2021, 2020, maybe 2019. It's something like that. That's it. Yeah, because they did better in closing down those stores and converting them into that area, right into Food Lion. And our last location for the evening, 1075 or 1095 Filbert Highway. Sorry about that. I'm going to put that and then post it right there. It was in York, South Carolina, a former buy low store. Had aesthetics looking like a Winn-Dixie or something. In April 2018, you got these images right here. So it had to have been a closing in 2021. Convert to a Food Lion. Wow. And that's hard to believe it. All of the South Carolina buy low locations covered on tonight. Thank you so much for joining us for everything here this evening. Oh, don't cry. I will be back with the computer stream with Tennessee. We're going to wrap that up. You get it? Yeah, we're wrapping it up. We're almost done with the buy low everything. We're going to go to Tennessee next, have some fun or something. I got to take a look at the channels, see how it's. Thank you so much for joining us and making us your choice for the Event of the Year's program and a lot more. That will do it for right now. I hope everyone can have a good night.